Hello, all of you bold, beautiful, brilliant, and highly evolved souls. I'm Davina, and today I'm going to give you a flashback SOS. So, what do you do when you're really in a kind of overwhelm because you're in some emotional pain, maybe you're tired, and there's maybe other life stressors that have just added on top of that, and it can just get to be a state of overwhelm. And that's kind of what my week has been. So it's sort of like I usually share whatever's kind of coming up for me. And these extra stressors can be anything, it could be maybe a boundary violation in a relationship that you're having. Maybe it's hot weather, for me it's like the bus didn't come, so I was getting home later, and all these kind of things. And if you have someone who maybe doesn't show up, or your friend doesn't show up for some reason or whatever, and all these things can just pile on top of the already, deep emotional pain that you're in, not to mention how exhausting this can already be. So I just wanted to go over a few of, some ideas with you, and I'm sure you're already doing some of them, but I figure if anything I'm sharing helps even one person, then yeah, it just gives my life a little bit more meaning to know that this is not just all, I'm not just suffering for nothing at all. Um, so number one, what I do is I try to reduce or eliminate distractions. So, turn off your computer. I'm on the computer now, but I've basically been off the computer for most of the day. Um, you know, Put it in a closet if you need to, turn off your phone. Um, Anything that is distracting, those social medias, or a lot of course, technology things can be very distracting, but it could be other things, something in your house, or um just try to kind of simplify, and yeah, let anything kind of extraneous, just let it go. It doesn't matter. It does not matter for today. um the second thing that is quite similar to this is I bear it down to only the necessities that I absolutely need to do, which is like my cooking and my laundry. And I wondered, should I do a video today on this because I'm feeling so exhausted? But another thing is that talking does help for me. So anyway, but really just try to do, just the bare minimum that you think, do things that are going to be, nourishing for you. If it's resting or a bath, or just stick to the basics, just really stick to the basics. And, if you had a plan, just cancel it, or, do what you feel is going to be most supportive for you. Another thing that works well for me is just laying down in stillness. Somehow, when I'm in that state of just complete stillness, it just somehow makes it more bearable. And so that emotional pain is there, and I'm just breathing. And sometimes I'll also just repeat something very simple to myself. Just like today, I was just like, inhale, breathing, exhale, being, breathing, being, breathing, being. Or another one that I do sometimes is just here and now, again with my breath, just here and now. One more that I've done is I love you, I'm with you. I love you, inhale, I'm with you, exhale, and just, pick one and stick with it for a while. Just, again, everything is to like reduce overwhelm, to, we want to simplify and bring it down to something that's manageable. And along with being in stillness is rest. It's absolutely necessary and okay to rest. Um, and it can be difficult. I know for me, once I get into overwhelm or exhaustion, I can feel more despicable. And when I feel more despicable, I feel more terrified. And when I feel more terrified, I will go into fawning even more so that I want to get something done, or I'm planning in my head like a recipe for the child that I take care of. And I'm like, no, 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 no. So I just sort of gently and very slowly sort of start letting those kind of thoughts go, like, no, I don't need to do that right now. I can let it go. That's not important, you know. Um, so yeah, just it's something to be aware of, that, the shame can bring on more of a fawn response, and we can tend to want to do more, or tend to like just like, oh, let's just scroll on Amazon or something, just to avoid this, because it's so hard to just be with it. Um, and another phrase that I've probably passed on to you a couple of times, but I just often say, just, I can be with this. I can be with this. Another phrase that I use is just do now, just do now, and just try to get really mindful and sort of pinpointing that just what's happening in the moment. I was just like eating my peanut butter sandwich and just look at the bread and look at the peanut butter and like just look at things closely, try to just like, it can help the mind just like, okay, I'm just doing this moment. And you can even say to yourself what you're doing in the moment. Okay, I'm washing my hair. I'm just washing my hair. That's all that's happening right now. I'm just washing my hair. If you can too, like if you're in your room, like step outside for a minute and look around. Okay, I see clouds. I see a red car or whatever, just to sort of orientate yourself um, to a little bit more to the present. And another one is to get support if it's safe. Make sure that it's safe, because if you're already in overwhelm and you reach out to someone who's then going to maybe dismiss you or something, that's obviously just going to lead you into more emotional pain and more difficulty. And then, it can just compound what you're already in. So if you're going to reach out, make sure that it's safe support, and make sure that you're kind of in a place where you're connected with yourself, at least a little bit, so that you're coming from a place, where, I don't know, just you have a sense of a little bit of, self-security already, groundedness. And what was the other thing I was just going to say? Oh, something I just tried today. It's similar to mirror work, which can also be helpful. Is I took a picture of myself, and I looked at that picture for a little while, and I spoke to myself, and I looked at myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm 52 years old, I'm not going to die, I'm okay, I'm safe. And just, I talked to myself and told myself, you're so beautiful. You're such a beautiful human being, anyone would be lucky to have you in their lives. You're a sensitive person, you're respectful, you're gentle, you're self-aware. And so just remind yourself that you are lovable, because something that can just overtake all of this is just shame, feeling, as I said, feeling despicable because you're in so much emotional pain. I go into feeling, despicable, or even like kind of wretched, like I'm just, who's gonna love me like this, so just tell yourself, I love you just the way you are, always, that unconditional love. I love you just the way you are, through and through. I'm here for you. Yeah, this can, and another thing that I sometimes, just tell myself too is this is another wave. It's a wave, and if I sit with it long enough, it does change. And it's sometimes like, well, that doesn't really mean much, because then it's another flashback 5 minutes later. But at least it's going to be something different. It's going to be, I do know that after doing this for a long time, or it seems like a freaking long time, that, week by week, it just seems to change. Like one week, oh my God, it's fear. And then in the next week, it's exhaustion. And then next week the big dominant one is like hopelessness or something. So it does change. So at least you get a break from whatever, that kind of dominant emotion might be. And of course, feel your feelings if you can. Sometimes if it's overwhelm, it's just like I just was like, oh, I was kind of verbal ventilating this morning. I have a video on that if you want to check it out. And then after verbal ventilating for a couple hours, then I just went into rest mode and just like a couple hours of just stillness, breathing, and yeah, so I find that also is kind of a nice balance of going from really letting it out, and I let it out, and I'm just like angry and hopeless and just like grieving, and then I just sort of, okay, let's put that aside, let's get grounded, and I rest. So that's kind of been my some of my methods and things that I use. And yeah, I wanted to do this video because, again, as I said, that talking to myself, even in the picture, just helped. I saw myself and I'm like, okay, I'm not 2 years old, or I feel very young right now. I think, like, um, yeah, I feel very young right now. And that kind of like just, yeah, I feel very young and hopeless and helpless. And I don't know. Um, yeah, talking to myself or just talking to someone can really help, and just seeing yourself and seeing, okay, I'm an adult, look in a mirror, take a picture of yourself, um, can be helpful at times too. So yes, as always, I'm wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. Yeah, it is really rough. It can be really, really rough. Sometimes, or most of the time. And I don't really have any words of, yeah, just take a deep breath, I guess. Yeah. And I'm Davina at Boldness Blooming, and thank you as always for watching.